Good morning, class 9th, chapter number 3, Atoms and Molecules. Students, we have discussed in last lecture laws of the chemical combination. We have discussed the first law, law of the conservation of mass. What is the law of the conservation mass? Mass can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. It means that during a chemical reaction, the sum of the mass of the reactants and the product remain unchanged. So student, today we will discuss the next law of the constant proportion. Student, Lavoisier along with the other scientists noticed that many compounds are composed of two or more elements and each such compounds had the same element in the same proportion. Understand? And irrespective of where the compound came from or who prepared it. So if we take example of the water, so you know water is element or compound? Water is compound because it is made up of the two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. So student, in a compound such as water, the ratio of the mass of hydrogen to the mass of the oxygen, जो ratio है, ratio of the mass of hydrogen to the mass of oxygen is always 1:8. Always, whatever the source of water, whether it is a lake, a river, ponds, always the ratio of the mass of the hydrogen to the mass of the oxygen is always 1:8. So if 9 gram of the water is decomposed, if 9 gram of the water is decomposed, 1 gram of hydrogen and 8 gram of oxygen are always obtained. So water is always contain the two element. Now listen carefully. It is a compound, water, so it contains the two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. Two element of hydrogen and one element of oxygen, and combined ratio, combined together in the same ratio, 2:16. How can you find this ratio? So you can open the NCERT book, page number 35, table 3.2. So there is the atomic masses of the few elements. Okay, so how many element of hydrogen? 2 है. तो atomic mass of the hydrogen 1. So how many element in water? 2 है, तो okay, तो 1 plus 1, तो 2 element of hydrogen and 1 element क्या है हमारा? Oxygen है. So what is the atomic mass of the oxygen? You can find this page number 35. What is the atomic mass of the oxygen? 16. So 2:16, or you can write here the 1:8. Okay, so you can use the table of 2. 2 1 ja 2 and 2 8 ja 6, 2 8 ja 16. So always be ratio 1:8. Okay, so the water is 1:8, or 1 plus 8 is equal to 9 gram. Okay, 9 gram of water. If I write here H2O, listen carefully. So 2, ठीक है, 2 plus how many? This 16, तो 2:16 है, बट हम इसमें 2:16 करेंगे तो हम 2 का टेबल अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, तो 1:8, तो 1 plus 8 9. सो 9 ग्राम कितना मास है हमारे वाटर का? 9 ग्राम है. When 9 gram of water H2O decomposed, H2 plus O2, हमेशा जो रेशो रहेगा, we get 1 gram of hydrogen, 1 gram H2O, H2 plus O2. When 9 gram water is decomposed, we get 1 gram of hydrogen and 8 gram of oxygen. In the same manner, we get from the ammonia. What is the formula of the ammonia? NH3. And this ammonia element contain the one, two element, contain the two element here, one is nitrogen and one is hydrogen, and ammonia contain the one element of nitrogen and three element of hydrogen. So now you can open the page number 35. What is the atomic mass of the nitrogen? Nitrogen 14. So 14, how many what is the atomic mass of the hydrogen? 1. But here is the 3 hydrogen, so 3. So always be ratio of ammonia is 14:3. So ammonia always contain two elements, nitrogen and hydrogen, combined together in the same ratio of the 14:3 by mass. So I hope you understand. This is the law of the constant proportion. So student, if we talk about the ammonia, so nitrogen and hydrogen are always present in the ratio 14:3 by mass. Whatever the method, whatever the sources from which it is obtained, कहीं से भी मिले, हमेशा जो always ratio will be in ammonia for ammonia 14:3. And if we talk about the water, the ratio of the water, hydrogen and oxygen 1:8. So in the same manner, if you find out the carbon dioxide and any other compound, so always follow the law of the constant proportion. So student, you can find out the carbon dioxide. What is the ratio of the carbon dioxide? What is the so if you take example of the carbon, so carbon जो carbon dioxide is made from the two elements carbon and oxygen. So you can find out or not? Find out. So I will try. ठीक है, चलो ट्राई करते हैं हम. तो कार्बन, what is the atomic mass of the carbon? 12. Oxygen atomic mass 16, but here is a 2, so 16 and 40, sorry, तो 12, ऑक्सीजन 16, 32. सो जो हमेशा जो रेशो रहेगा 12:32, या यू कैन राइट द हेयर द फोर्थ. ओके, तो 3 you can write the table of the 4 table. 4 3 जा 12, 3:8. हमेशा जो रेशो रहेगा कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड में 3:8 का रहेगा. So you can find out the another proportion of the compounds. So what is the law of the constant proportion? Law of the constant proportion states that in a chemical compound the elements are always present in a definite proportion by mass. We have taken the many example, so you can find out the many other example that follow the law of the constant proportion. So student, in next video we will discuss the Dalton atomic theory. So I hope you understand student. So this is the homework for you also. Describe the law of the conservation of mass and law of the constant proportion. Okay students, bye, take care.